All right. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. Let's just jump right into it here with soybeans. Really pretty light volume day across the board. Not a whole lot of movement in terms of volume, but price action was, I think, somewhat significant today. So let's just kind of jump into here and let's start with today's day and then back out and look at what beans are doing from a bigger perspective, okay? First of all, today is a bullish engulfing shadow. Um, what is a bullish engulfing shadow? Well, it's a day where the wick, or this long skinny part of the daily candlestick bar, is fully engulfing the prior full body of the day ahead of it. So here we have a little bit of what's called a piercing pattern on this one, which is where the full body here stays inside the lower portion of the red bar. Today we have a breakout to the downside that's fully retraced and closes back up above. Now, we'd have liked to have seen this get above 1305, which would be back above Friday's high and back up inside this daily cloud. But nevertheless, that's a bullish engulfing day. We have also have a hook reversal here. So from a short-term perspective, beans should find a little bit of strength. Now, our overall view of this market is that we're bullish because of yield. We think that the heat in July and August took its toll and put us in a position where the beans really got hurt. So we think that the yield is coming down and the balance sheet is tighter than what the USDA is saying, right? So that's the big picture. Today's action is confirming it, but what's interesting is that today's action took place in relationship to this low back here on August 8th. So if we want to count waves, okay, and you count this as a 1, then you have an A, you have a B, and you have a C, which would be a counter trend move. And this counter trend move bottoms just on top of this low, which would make it, which would mean it failed to violate that low, which means it's a truncation. And if that reading is correct, then beans should open and get up and out of here very, very quickly. Because if this is a truncated C wave in a wave 2 position, then we should see this thing explode to the upside. So that's what we're looking for. We think that makes sense. But we're not there yet. We got to get up above certainly Friday's high, and then we'd like to see it up above 1323 too. Remember, if our balance sheet is as tight as we think it could be with the yield in the 49, 48, 47 territory, then these highs up here are not going to stop beans. They're going higher, they're going above that because the balance sheet is simply too tight. It's tighter today than it was 2 years ago. And this is after good crops, good growing seasons, good crops, big acreage, and all that stuff. And I think that a lot of traders, particularly big money managers that don't have a lot of time to really dive into the details of the day in and day out stuff in the grain markets, I think that they're sitting there saying, hey, we had a big acreage number, we have big crops, we had good weather really for the most part, and South America is going to outgrow a bunch, and they exported more than we did this year, so our demand is crap and our crop is big, so we're going lower. And I think what they're missing is that our crop's not quite as big as what they said it was. And if demand resurges at all, then we're going to explode up out of here. So we are very bullish beans. I think this whole thing is a sideways move. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up into here. And if you break the substructure down into that, it's even better. I think we've got a 3-wave move down in here. I think we have a 3-wave move up. And now I think we have a weird 3-wave move down, but I think that it bottomed, and I think we're going to truncate it and get up and out of here. So we'll see what it does, but hey, it's an easy spot to trade from because below 82, we're looking for another baby low and then probably another reversal. So I think we just need to be extremely patient with beans and let more trade action come in and more information come into the market, because as it becomes known, I think we're going to head higher. You just don't see the record yields that it would take in order to put this market, with a yield at 51 or 52 or something like that. I just don't think that is really out there, and the demand is not that sluggish from a global perspective, right? So we're just behind on bookings, which somebody can make up for that really quickly. If we are in fact in a short crop, they'll come and buy it really, really quickly. Okay, now let's look at corn. Corn continues to diverge. We have this sneaky little low here that we put in last week, and actually on the weekly chart, let me show you that. The weekly chart, we actually have a hook reversal here and a piercing pattern. So if we can close this week up above 483, then we have a 3 inside up on the weekly chart, which is not insignificant. We're coming from oversold territory. This could get explosive here as well. Let's come back to the daily chart. We have a little 1-2, and now we're up, and we should see this thing explode up higher too. So the counts in both corn and beans are, in my opinion, calling for immediate higher action. And if we take out today's lows, then I think that's a signal to step aside, because something is off. But with these big bullish divergences, and I can show you bullish divergences on any indicator you want to throw out up here. This is MACD diverging from all the way from the peak back in June. And a lot of times on a divergence, if it really takes hold, the high that it goes and gets is the high from which it started, which would be all the way back there. So I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. I'm saying that that is how you would read this chart. And if we do get up above this 506 level, it buries all of the shorts. So the funds have amassed 150 plus thousand contract short position. They've done almost all of it at or below $5, between $5 and $5.80, and they have literally nothing to show for it, because we're closed at $5.82 here today, and we're getting bullish action. So amidst all of that selling, we were unable to break these oscillators down into new lows. So something is out of sync there, and I think that we've got to look higher in the corn market. Maybe that's yield, maybe that's demand, maybe that's both. I don't know. I don't care. What it is we're not turning around and selling a big divergence like that on the daily chart. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. And then bean or Kansas City wheat, same exact situation. Big divergences all across the oscillators on Kansas City wheat. We do have pretty much the same formation today that we have in beans, with a hook reversal, bullish engulfing candle following a piercing pattern. If we do get up and out of here and take out 729, then I think that really puts us in position to come challenge some of these higher levels. Wheat's got a lot of work to do, right? You got to get past 729, you got to get past 750, you got to break all of this stuff, and then you've got to have a sell-off, and then they've got to buy it. So you've got to go up, you got to come back down, and then you've got to go up. And a perfect setup would be, up into here, come back in and test this area right in here, test it, and then blow up and out. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're seeing. That's what this count calls for too. So all three of the grains that we follow and trade are all three calling for the same setup. We're calling for immediate bullish action with trade action above today's high. So if we don't get that, then it means something is, maybe we're missing something, or the market's got to tell us something different. But as of right now, on this right edge, I think you got to look higher across the board and be positioned accordingly. Okay, that's 9 minutes. It's good to be back with you. We'll be back on Wednesday, or we'll see what action does tomorrow. I'm expecting higher markets tomorrow. If we turn around and push it lower, I think that'll be surprising, but we'll just deal with it and be back with you with a video depending on what price action does. Hope you guys have a great night. Remember, there is risk trading futures and options, and you should only do so in light of your own financial condition. Have a great night. We'll talk to you later.